Hey everyone, Theo here. Today we will look at the user interface of Clip Studio Paint on the OnePlus Pad and also the new simple UI mode released by Clip Studio Paint in July 2023. So this is the 11.6-inch OnePlus Pad. The aspect ratio for this display is 7:5, and this is how the CSP user interface looks with palettes on the left and also on the right side. Now, because this tablet is less wide compared to the very common 16:9 or 16:10 tablets, the working space that you are left with is more squarish. If you use a wider tablet, you're going to get a wider working space. And that's pretty much all I want to say about the CSP UI on the OnePlus Pad. Let's take a look at the new simple mode, which you can access from the Clip Studio menu here. Move down to this option, switch to simple mode. So this simple mode, in my opinion, is the tablet mode, which allows you to basically work around with your fingers and your pen more easily. And the UI sort of reminds me of Infinite Painter. We have the tools on the left side, the layers palette on the right side. There are more options hidden here. And if you want to switch back to the studio mode, that option is right here. And there are some options here at the bottom as well, depending on which tool that is selected. When you tap on the brush tool, you get the brush library, and all the subcategory of brushes will be grouped under the main category called pens in this case. When you tap on the right arrow, you can see some options you can adjust, and there really isn't much you can adjust because this is the simple mode. Let's take a look at pencils. So I can see some of the pencils and chalk brushes are grouped together. For brushes, we have watercolor brushes, oil brushes grouped together. Now, if you have additional brushes from the studio mode, they may not be imported over, so you may have to import those brushes over yourself. To import brushes from studio mode, you tap here on the plus button and choose to import from studio mode. So I have one brush from the brush category that I want to bring over, and it's called Bit Husky. Tap OK, and now we have that brush. So I'm holding the tablet to draw to see how usable this simple mode is for handheld drawing. So let's go to the line art layer, select a color. Let's have black, and that's the color wheel, and that's the default color set beneath. Okay. This does still feel like Clip Studio, except the UI looks different. The tool set is pretty much similar. Let's eyedrop the red. Now, for some reason, when I tap and hold, I wasn't able to call up the eyedropper, even though under preferences, I actually have that eyedrop with long press enabled. So I guess I may have to use the eyedropper to use the eyedropper. So let me select this layer to color it, eyedrop this, and use the fill bucket to color this and also to color this. Let's switch back to the brush. Oops, wrong color. Yeah, it's definitely not that convenient using the eyedropper there. Let's have white. So the UI is actually quite nice to work with. I do enjoy the bigger canvas area, the less cluttered UI. And you can hide the layers palette by swiping to the right side, or if you need to see the layers name, you can swipe it out. So let's add some, shadows. Let's have a gray. And let's paint here. Okay, so I'm using a clipping mask, which is why the shadow does not go out of the strawberry. And for the shadow on the table, let me just paint it on a separate layer behind. The same limited number of layer tools can be found on this menu, and there is no clear layer feature yet. And this is the drop-down menu with all the blending modes. So this UI is actually quite intuitive. Let's try this. This is the liquify tool, and this is the line tool, and this is the transform tool. Yeah, so I can move the shadow around if I want to. Let me tap cancel or accept. Cancel. Okay, one thing that I have not figured out is how to select this strawberry with the shadow and move it to another location. Because if I use the lasso tool to select this, and I try to use the transform tool to move, you can see that it only moves the shadow layer. I am not able to select multiple layers here. Let me switch back to studio mode to show you how I would usually select everything. So switch back. So once you're back in studio mode, I'm surprised to see that the selection is still there, which is great. So to select all the layers, I can tap here to put a check into the square box, and now if I need to move the strawberry around, I can just move it around. So this is something I was not able to do with the simple mode. Let's go back to simple mode. If you guys know how to select multiple layers after making a selection, let me know in the comment section below. I just realized the 4 layers are selected from the studio mode, but if I tap here and try to tap and hold other layers, nothing happens. So I don't know how to select multiple layers here. So this slider here controls the opacity, and there are, from what I can see, only 4 layer tools. You can hide the layer, trash the layer, clip the layer, or lock the transparency. But that's it. There aren't many features here. This is the add layer button, and this is the add folder. Another way to minimize the layers palette is to tap on this little arrow here, and this will collapse the layers palette. But I find it more productive to collapse the layers palette this way, where you can still see the layers. Now to import images onto the canvas, you can tap here on this image button, and to redo and undo, you have the shortcuts here, or you can use your finger shortcuts. The Clip Studio button here will bring you to the Clip Studio page. So let's go back to the canvas again. And this is the save button, and I am not able to save because I'm using the trowel or doodle mode. My CSP license is actually locked to another tablet. Unfortunately for CSP, they don't lock the license to your user ID, they actually lock it to the hardware. I hope CSP can add more tools and features to simple mode while retaining the simple aesthetics. So far, I really enjoy this user interface. I think it works really well, especially if you are using a small tablet where your screen or display is very small. So having the minimal UI is very much appreciated. Alright, I hope this video is useful. See you guys in the next one. Bye!